Hi everyone, today we're going over the station wagon, this 1984 Colony Park LS. A lot of the features, some funny aspects about it, some very 80s decor and colors, and interesting where they aimed at pleasing these station wagons were the head of the household and the male figure, while we knew the women that went to the stores and made those decisions, they drove this car daily. That is interesting. So we're taking Chris, a friend of ours, on this drive, and we're gonna hear what he has to say, getting an idea and opinion from other people. Driving this Colony Park LS is a feeling like you're in the clouds. It's just an amazing suspension, and with such low miles, you know, the bushings aren't compromised. Everything is brand new, so you have the full enjoyment. In an old 1984 car, it's quite bizarre, this feeling, because you expect to be worn out and beat up, but it's not. It was well kept in the garage all its years, but it remains the effect and the comfort. I mean, it's like a lazy boy couch, you know, it's velvety and it's got this quilted pleats on it and not worn out, which is amazing. This deserves to be at a Ford or Mercury museum. It'd be cool, because it's a well-preserved wagon. Now it's got 11,000 miles. The engine is fully functioned. The Mustang GTO or Mustang 5.0, let's say. Of course, you don't feel the 4 horsepower because of the weight of this wagon. You know, it's huge, but it does have the power to get going. You know, you don't feel loss of power on this wagon at all. I don't know the noise. The air conditioning is very low. The noise you hear is the air conditioning. Hardly anything from outside. Right now we're on our way to pick up Chris to go for a drive with us. Hey Chris, so this car has 11,000 miles original. So everything you see is factory. There's nothing redone. The headliner's new, the dash, the
upholstery. So he lived in a garage.
He lived in a garage.
Wow.
And basically it's a time capsule, but this was the flagship of Ford. The Mercury line put out this wagon, and was the last shot at doing wagons. And then sales declined because they invented the minivans. But what's interesting is that the minivans, they're actually quite crappy when they came out. They came out to replace the station wagons, but they were not SUVs and minivans. But remember the Chryslers, they're just real lame. They're just poorly made. These are tanks.
Yeah.
And it took them a while to improve the minivans, you know?
This is incredible.
It's amazingly quiet. I charged the AC. Remember, you can take your Wagoneer, buy these cans, and you charge as it is. You don't have to convert anything to 134. And that's what I did. I put this air, and it got cold.
The noise reduction, too. Look up outside. Can't really hear anything.
I know. It's
everything
crazy.
like the seals, and I don't know if the glass was heavier then or something.
I don't know, but it's just, I don't even know. I suspect it has some airbag somewhere, because it's just you're like in the clouds, you know,
Yeah.
like this, like a Rolls Royce kind of.
Right.
But imagine this kind of luxury for family vacations, you know.
Yeah. When it came out, imagine.
There was another Ford station wagon that it was more popular than this. This was like a high-end, the most expensive wagon, and it's quite rare for being the LS version. I always think of you when I drive this, because you have the Wagoneer with the wood on the side, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wood grains, for sure. I just can't get over how well kept this thing is. Well, I guess that'll staying out of the sun, right?
So always out of the sun. In fact, this is my driveway with the cover on, but I'm still concerned, you know, with the dash. It's just too much heat.
So the rent this thing paid every month cost.
I ran it almost twice. I ran it to Nike the first time. Nike ran it for the ad campaign.
Oh, I saw that one.
And then recently, there was someone renting, but he changed to the Bronco. I don't know exactly what the scope is, but they're gonna put boxes in the Bronco and do some photo shots like that. And it has the digital clock, analog, everything over here, of the speedometer, mileage, very old school, very basic, but at the time this was luxury, you know?
Yeah.
the wood grain,
Yeah, the craftsmanship that went into it. I mean, look at all the detailing right here.
right? It's funny for them, like this was their version of WoW, you know?
Yeah. Well, what year is this?
This one is from 1984. It's a real long name. It's called Mercury Marquis Colony Park LS Station Wagon. It's like, it's the size of the car. The car goes for like 20 feet long, you know? It's just,
Yeah.
the name makes sense.
I don't even know what they call this material, but it seems like hard to replace.
Yeah, that's my concern. This velour or
Yeah.
velvet.
Yeah.
It's a velvety.
Right here. Watch out for these holding off.
In your wagon, how's your wagon driving?
It's good. It's at a friend's house getting some things done to it. I put some new shocks on it. No lift kit or anything. Everything original except wearable parts.
We're here at Kimberly Crest House. And yes, you guessed it. It's one of the heirs of the Kimberly Clark tissue paper. The heir donated this property to Redlands. So it's part of the Redlands Heritage Parks. And I just want to show you. It's a beautiful house. She was a single lady that lived with her partner. And there it is. This is a beautiful pond here, and that's the property. I guess you can tell I have a thing for wagons. I want to show you the car outside, do a little review. So here you notice how wide it is. The length of the station wagon is just incredible. So notice how wide, and also, you know, the stance of the tires. It's quite interesting. You know, it's quite wide. So there's nice roof racks. They're chromed and they have the wood siding vinyl on it. Some of the features include, you know, vinyl wrapping and this chrome trimming. Nice protectors here on the door. These valet dome lights come on when you park at night. Come on. Continuing here, we have the steering wheels are immaculate. The leather is like brand new. The dash is perfect. Just overall, in quite nice condition. The velvety seat is very nice. I hope you can see. Yeah. Then you have the features. You know, the adjustments for the seats right here. The commands for the door. It's quite interesting. This is a very old school adjustment for the passenger side rearview mirror. Opening the trunk, you have this massive door. You just have to push this button, remove this carpet, and here you have these jump seats here for extra passengers, so it will fit 9 people here easily. And these seats are quite common actually. All the station wagons have the same kind of seat. They don't necessarily match the upholstery, but you know, it's a uniform, universal seats for the station wagons from Ford. The carpet completes it here, a nice finish. The spare tires in here, some tools right here. Oh yeah, one more feature here. Oh, this is nice. Let's see if I do this right. Yay! Yeah. So notice also the cockpit and the instruments. It's very interesting, and at the time all this glitter and shininess of the dash, the chrome, represented luxury. They made a very business-like design, very formal and classic. The dash is very much analog. The radio, you have to physically push the button to change the stations. The knobs for the air conditioning also made very much to appeal to businessmen instead of the women that actually drove. As I mentioned, this was like the flagship. They made this wagon to outwagon all the other brands. Has leather covered steering wheel, and it's an amazing condition here. And the speedometer, also analog, chrome pieces and whatnot. And nothing speaks of adventure and family vacation at all. The seats look like big lazy boy seats, and very formal and classic. Quite interesting. You open the glove compartment. There's a little button for the guest door, for the guest cap, so to speak. Nice thick mats and heavy carpet. And here you have this nice velvety upholstery. It's incredible. And the doors. Hope you enjoyed the Colony Park LS. As you can imagine, I have a thing for wagons, but this is a very comfortable station wagon, incredible ride. So it's always a pleasure to take this one for a spin. And today we hung out with Chris Nunes, and so it was great to see him again. So I hope you enjoyed the video with myself and Chris driving the station wagon. A little background on this car. So it was purchased here in Southern California by a very demanding, by a man that did quite a bit of research into what kind of vehicle to buy. So when he went to visit this dealership here, Sunland in Southern California, in the desert, he went over every particular option on the car, considering tinting, the exact price with the options and whatnot. This car at the time cost $15,000. So it says here on the invoice from Lincoln Mercury, $15,000. So it's quite interesting. There's no date. I don't have the build sheet to see when it was built, but there's a letter thanking him for the sale and whatnot. Quite interesting. And the color, it is a dark walnut metallic, quite attractive. Along with all these records that I have a massive amount of catalogs from other vehicles. And so if you're wondering, how can I get a car like this? How much would it cost? This vehicle is actually for sale. You can find it at Hennies.com. Notice here, every option is numbered correctly. So the original owner had a lot of attention and study before purchasing this station wagon. So the original owner numbered all the options here. So obviously he made a lot of research before purchasing the station wagon.